What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Kevin Duffy, and today I'm going to be doing a trailer breakdown and plot theory analysis video for the upcoming Superman movie. Now, the Superman trailer just dropped 2 days ago, and it is a doozy, and it is putting up some serious numbers. You can tell by the tag of my name there. It has 250 million views in like 48 hours, which is insane for Warner Brothers. I'm sure that number is going to keep climbing too. It is the highest rated or viewed trailer that Warner Brothers has ever dropped, the highest trailer for a DC movie that Warner Brothers has ever dropped. And I can't imagine the folks over there in James Gunn's circle are too upset with the way this thing's going right now. So we did a couple videos regarding this. I did a reaction to the theme song that was dropped the day before on our podcast. We kind of did a live trailer reaction. I had already seen it, but one or two of the guys on the podcast hadn't. So we did the analysis there. I haven't quite broke that video down yet. So if you haven't seen the podcast, I'd go check that out. But yeah, I wanted to do a breakdown of the trailer, like kind of go through the different parts of the trailer, what I think they mean, and ultimately give my thoughts on where I think this movie's going plot-wise. So let's just pull up the video. I'll pull the video right now. We'll play it through one time, like regular speed, and then we'll go through a slower version of it and break it down like frame by frame and talk about everything we see here. So here we go. Let's do that. I love the snowy landscape here. Soup's crashing in there. I've seen a lot of people calling this the Yamcha pose. I think that's hilarious. It really is the classic Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z pose. You know, I'm going to pause this actually right here. So a lot of people critique this movie or the trailer based on David Corenswet's hair here. They're like, oh, it looks ridiculous. It's a mop. Dude, you want your Superman to look different than your Clark Kent. So I think this is actually a great way to showcase that. The best that it's ever been. I mean, everybody else that's ever done it was just like, that's just Superman with glasses. This literally seems like a different person. So I think David Corenswet clearly knew he needed to do that. James Gunn obviously directed him to be as different as possible, and they added in the way he looks to kind of make it even that much more. Let's keep going with it though. I love the way the planet looks too, the Daily Planet. All right, I'm actually going to pause a lot more than I thought I was on the breakdown of this trailer. Interesting choice for them to go with Soup's kind of all bloodied up and like just came from getting his ass beat, obviously, in this trailer. But it actually makes a lot of sense because a lot of people's complaints about Superman is that he's too OP, and showcasing him already like, you know, this man can take a beating, and in this movie he is probably going to. I think that's a genius move. It kind of gets people on board like, okay, well, we got to see what is the reason that Soups is all fucked up. So let's keep going. Love the retro look to this trailer too. So like the fact that they have the Daily Planet looking like it was like out of like the 1960s, 1970s. I think that's a nice touch. Like all the warm oranges and the like browns that are everywhere. That's a really cool touch. I mean, this is a modern movie. This is set in modern times, obviously in a fictional world where Metropolis is going to kind of look like that golden age version of it, but it's really cool. I think it's awesome. I think Rachel Brosnahan looks fucking amazing as Lois Lane. She obviously doesn't have anything to say in the trailer, but she was, as soon as I heard she was up for the role of Lois Lane, I was like, you gotta go with Rachel Brosnahan. There's no one else who could do it. I don't know if you guys have seen The Marvelous Miss Maisel, but you should definitely check it out. She literally has such Lois energy the whole time. The way that she commands the room, the way that she like doesn't take shit from her male counterparts, which is, you know, a big part of what I imagine the journalist world is like. So I knew it had to be her the second she was discussed, and I'm so glad that's who they went with. I think her and David are going to have incredible chemistry. So let's keep going. I love that in this version of the movie, we're going to have a living Jonathan Kent. Kind of sets itself apart from the versions we've got in the past where he dies of a heart attack or whatever. But honestly, I know there's some rumors out there that Martha might be the one who dies in this instead of Jonathan Kent. I kind of hope they both are alive, if I'm being honest. I don't need Superman's parents to be dead to make it a good Superman movie. I would like him to be able to have a place that he can escape back to where people fully know who he is, fully know that what he's struggling with. And I just think that would be amazing. But you know what? If Jonathan's there to kind of help coach him through it and Martha does die, I'm sure that'll still be an emotional beat in the movie, and he'll still have somebody to go back to and talk to. So, but I do kind of hope that they go the route where they keep them both alive. But now we get the inclusion of Crypto.
Crypto. Home. Take me home.
I love this. That is my favorite shot of the whole trailer right there. The shot of this kaiju stepping on these like nitrogen tanks or oxygen tanks, whatever they are, and just having them launch out at this little, like towards this little girl, and Soups just comes in super fast to get her. And just the way that it looks like I know it's just in slowing it down, obviously the CG doesn't catch up to it as good as it could, but like just the way that Soups is cradling that girl to make sure she's out of the way of harm's way, knowing his body will take the full brunt of that and not be hurt. Like that is just such a Superman thing to do. And I know that a lot of people were like online were giving it some shit saying like, do we really need Superman saving cats from trees and shit like that? We do need Superman doing shit like that. Obviously, maybe not cats from trees. That's a bit extreme, but little things like this, like saving children, this is exactly what makes Superman Superman. So including this in the shot is awesome. Plus, it's a fucking badass shot. I mean, it really is. So I hope there's a ton of things like this in the movie. I'm sure that there will be. But it's just a beautiful shot. You got Nicholas Hoult here as Lex Luthor. This guy, he couldn't catch a break trying to be cast as Superman. He was one of the top front runners for the role. And ironically, like as soon as he was up there and you saw David Corn sweat, I was like, oh, it's got to be that guy. He looks just like Superman. Nicholas Hoult doesn't look like him at all. But then thinking back, obviously, like when it was rumored that he was going to get Lex or he was up for Lex, that's obviously the way to go. He'd be perfect for Lex Luthor. I mean, this Nicholas Hoult has been on the edge of superstardom for a long time, and playing an iconic villain that is a recurring iconic villain. There's no way this is like a one and done for him. Playing an iconic recurring villain like Lex Luthor is going to skyrocket him to a level of stardom that he has yet to really achieve for himself. And I know he gets roles all the time. He's a great actor, but I feel like he's not like everybody's like leading man choice. And I think after this movie, he will be. So, but he looks like a great Lex. And if Gunn is going to deliver on what he's promised to, this is going to be a very science driven, very like unhinged, psychotic Lex, and that is exactly the kind of Lex Luthor we've needed. I don't care about going for land anymore. I don't care about what fucking Jesse Eisenberg did with that goofy ass performance in Batman vs Superman. Just give me classic Lex Luthor doing classic Lex Luthor shit, and I think that's what we're going to get in this movie. All right, I'm pausing it again. This is the trailer breakdown, right? So obviously, a lot of people online are calling out that it's Luthor Corp and not Lex Corp, and that's fine. And because the older iterations of the comic, Luthor Corp was exactly what it was called anyway, so it's not out of the normal. But I have a question, and maybe you guys will come along with this. But you see the part of this building here, this little like atrium that goes across the middle. How fucking dangerous is that in a city like Metropolis where shit happens all the time? I would never walk across this atrium. And supposedly this right here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, right here is supposedly that's the engineer from The Authority who's supposed to be in this movie. she's one of the, like, I guess, hired guns by Lex. Again, I don't know. That's just from the images I've seen, not from the trailer at all. But she's one of the hired guns from Lex that is supposedly going to be like going up against Superman, trying to bring him in for whatever reason they try to capture Superman in this movie. But supposedly that's her right there. A little quick shot of her on top of the top of this walkway here. I wouldn't be caught dead in this atrium, unless this detaches and becomes like a flying unit or something like that. But that is like insane to me. Like with all the troubles that befall Metropolis, to be inside that atrium. I mean, this goddamn kaiju in this trailer. What did that thing walk by and just fucking smack that part down? Like if that's Lex's like hangout in Luthor Corp, no fucking way, man. You wouldn't catch me in there at all. But I'm terrified of heights, so that could be why. But all right, let's keep it going. I'm so glad I paused it right here. Looking a little sus there, Lex, as my kids would say. Everyone's saying, like, what's with the gun? Maybe it's got kryptonite bullets. I don't know that this necessarily is even Superman in this scene here that he has. I have a theory about who's in this. I think potentially this could be him threatening someone like Metamorpho, because Metamorpho's in this trailer, and I believe he's being held captive by Lex. I think he's in the same cell we're going to see Superman in the next scene here, but it could be kryptonite bullets. But I feel like we do Lex like wielding kryptonite too much. It'd be fun if it's a different plot line than that. But I do like the references to him being like a Bond villain or like from the Hitman series, because that's literally what he looks like. But yes, let's keep this going here. So right there. So the thought online here is that this cell right here is a cell that has, what do you call it? Potentially like a red sunlight to try to depower Superman so we can't get out. And someone online was saying potentially that this could be, in the background here, this could be Metamorpho, because it looks like he's got like two different kind of legs here, and he's in a pair of shorts, and you can't really tell his face or whatever. This could be Metamorpho and someone else that's been kidnapped by Lex, and potentially Metamorpho is creating some kind of a more traditional UV light that you'd get on Earth to repower Supes up so that he can break out of this containment unit that Lex has him in here, that's pretty damn cool if that's what that is. And it's a good way to incorporate Metamorpho, who, again, a really sad character whose powers are kind of fucked up and his body looks fucked up. And this whole era or first chapter in the DC universe is gods and monsters. So Metamorpho is one who falls on the monster side of things. You know, he's a subject of science experiments gone wrong by Stag Industries, which you see in this trailer too. So it'd be really cool if he's involved in helping Superman escape from this situation here, and then Superman in turn saves the fucking day and gets Metamorpho out in public eye and makes him a hero that people want to, recognize and stuff. But let's keep it going. I love this kid. The inclusion of this kid praying to Superman as, forces from, I don't know where, but as forces are invading, and he knows that no one there is going to be able to save them, and he starts praying to Superman. And I think in the next shot you see that the entire population around him starts praying to Superman, which, I mean, that's going to get Supes to come fly in and save the fucking day. It's probably the scene that the people in Metropolis, like when Soup spins around at the beginning of that, where Clark spins around at the beginning of that trailer, Superman and Clark are seeing on the screen that these people need help. And I bet you Clark does the whole, I'll be right back, Lois. I got to go check on the copier, and just runs off to fly off. But it's really cool. It's emotional. And I saw a real funny comment on one of these. Somebody captured this guy right here. And captured this guy throwing the can of peas at fucking Soups. And they were like, this scene right here, look at that. I didn't know that they were going to include all the Zack Snyder fans in the trailer. And that made me laugh. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to throw shade at you guys. I know this must be a rough week for all you snihards, but like, that's a funny fucking joke. You know it. So, yeah, this dude seems pissed off. For whatever reason, Superman is getting his name's been tarnished. He's got battle damage on his suit. I know that the kaiju fight, he gets hit with fire. I don't know if the fire causes that to happen to his suit. I got my own speculations we'll dive into at the end of this, but for some reason the populace doesn't trust Superman right now. They're turning against him, and I'm really interested in why. So let's keep it going. Oh yeah, there we go. You got your Guy Gardner shot. I like that. Like Superman is struggling with whatever is going on in this scene, and he's struggling to cope. And the Stag Industries, it's at the Stag Industries building, and you got Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific coming out to kind of talk to Superman. And Guy Gardner, who's a douchebag in most iterations of the comic, you know, he's a kind of a blowhard, kind of a not everybody's favorite superhero, definitely not everybody's favorite Lantern. Sets up a bit of a curtain to keep people either out of the building or give them a little privacy so they can address the situation here. It's probably a nice moment for Guy Gardner, even though he might pop in here and give Superman shit in a minute for all I know. But I do love that they opted to go with the classic bowl cut for Nathan Fillion here, because that is like, how could you not? How could you not go with the classic bowl cut? You had to. I mean, you could do the military style one, but you got Nathan Fillion. You know this is going to be a comedy, a bit of a comedic relief role, so you got to go with the bowl cut. Maybe if I can be honest, I hope there's an exchange in this movie where Guy Gardner gives Superman shit for having the red trunks back, and Superman has a comeback, which, you know, Superman's not one to really talk shit to anybody, but it'd be great if he goes, you know, I'll take style advice from you as soon as you start taking haircut advice from me, or something like that, because it would be great to do that. And a nice little exchange there. And especially because, you know, Nathan Fillion, I'd love to see his Guy Gardner defending that haircut. Like, he's like, this is a classic. Like, it's never out of style or something like that. But man, I love Nathan Fillion. I'm so glad he's in this movie. I'm so glad that he's Guy Gardner. Such an incredible inclusion. You know that James likes to put his obscure characters in. Guy's not that obscure. I mean, he's not like the Guardians of the Galaxy obscure, but he's up there. So Hawkgirl flying and doing some shit. You got okay. Rewind back a tick there, boys. I was gonna you got this kaiju, right? Shooting fire at Superman. It's kind of a funky looking kaiju. Like it's pretty rad. This top half's a little funky. The very like human looking eye is a little weird, but I got a theory with that too. I think this kaiju, well, it's not really a theory. I saw a Toy Line spoiler that said it was like Lex Luthor with baby kaiju. So if this is a baby kaiju, and it's just like set loose on the city by Lex or whomever, or just lured in by Lex to make Superman look bad or whatever. Scary monster, right? Like this thing, if it's got humanish eyes, if Superman's goal in this movie, in this scene, is to not kill the kaiju because it's Superman and he doesn't kill, but to like lure it away and like take care of it, you know, because he doesn't want to hurt it. Like, it's good to humanize it with like a human looking face. So not human looking face, but, you know, like the human looking eyes that they've given it here. So I think that is a really, that's got to be included for a reason. But I like that it's launching fire at him. I like that in the scene he like shoots off into the sky after being hit by it. Again, whether this is where the fire damage comes from, I don't know, because I have a feeling this kaiju thing is going to be in the first kind of act of the movie, probably even the opening action sequence. So to have the fire taint his suit for the whole, like you've seen him in the movie without shit on his suit, whether he gets a new suit or whatever, I don't know. But I would assume that this might not be where his suit gets burned, but by all accounts, it probably is. So this is the thing everybody's asking about. And my buddy John made the jokes. He's like, I like that Superman's on a date when the city's in grave freaking peril. Like, this obviously is not a date. Superman's in the charred suit. This is the first image that was released. This is the like putting on my boots, even with the shit going on the outside of the world. So he's getting ready to go out there and fight this thing. I bet you Lois just shows up to kind of like give him that pep talk. This is probably a moment in the film. If I think most of the shots in this film take place in the first half of the movie, definitely the first act. But I think this shot probably takes place towards the final act of the movie, or at least in the maybe even prior to the final battle. Because this looks like a pretty serious moment, like where she would come up and be like, you can do this. Like, I know you're doubting yourself. I know that that Luthor turned the city against you, but this is how you get them back. This is how you show that you're the hero that everybody needs to strive to be. And I think that is what this moment is. I would hope that's what this moment is, but I could be totally wrong. I know that Gunn said that most of the things we saw are from the first act of the movie. So if that's the case, and this is from the first act of the movie, then this movie is going to be packed with shit. But I think this is probably from later in the movie. As to what this is, this floating orb here, I have a theory. So if Lex knows that the red sun was what Krypton's sun was, right? You'd wonder how that could be. How could he know that, right? To know that red sunlight would hurt Superman. How would he know that Superman gets his powers from the Earth's sun? We can assume that Lois Lane has written a piece about Superman in here explaining who he is to the public. She probably already did that. So there might be information in there, but I don't think Superman would have told her, I came from a planet with a red sun. I get my power because your sun is yellow. That just seems like things he wouldn't have included in a story like that. But my theory is he probably did say he was from the planet Krypton, and it was from outside our galaxy, and it was destroyed whatever many years ago. And Lex is the kind of guy who has enough money, enough resources that he could probably send his own probes out into space pretty far. And I'm thinking he sends his probes out into space and somehow gets enough data about where Krypton was, what kind of sun it had, whatever. So again, this is comic booky, so maybe not, but this is a very comic book movie, very comic book world. So it could be that there's there's some tech out there that Lex has that allows him to kind of go a little further in the galaxy than we as a species can now. But what if he sends something out there? He gets some data on Krypton. You could tell it was a red sun somehow. And then he's piggybacking data back to himself, or the probe itself is coming back to him. But what if in sending that data out sending his probes out to get that data, he tips off a creature like Solaris, which is what I think the speculation is that this could be, right? Which is in the comics, it's like a sun eater, right? It's a solar powered machine that like devours suns or devours power from suns. And what if Solaris was part of the reason that Krypton's sun exploded, or Krypton's sun died quicker than it should have? And what if in Lex sending out those probes to get information on Superman, unknowingly lures Solaris back to Earth, right? That would be an amazing comeuppance for Lex in the movie, if his own meddling and trying to defame Superman brings about a being like Solaris coming to Earth to try and destroy the Earth. That would be kind of like an egg in your face moment, especially if Superman has to defeat Solaris, or has to defeat Lex battling Solaris, which that'd be even better. Not defeat Lex battling Solaris. What if Superman has to save Lex from Solaris? That would just be the best moment of the entire movie, especially if Lex has a thing like, I don't need you saving me, and Superman goes, I know you don't, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to save everybody anyway, and I'm always going to save everybody, and then poof, shoots off to save the fucking day. But that's just what I think. I could be totally wrong. People think that he could be fighting Guy Gardner in this because you see green around him. Nice like a kiss moment there. But I don't think he's fighting Guy Gardner in that scene. He might be, but rewind a second here. So you get this nice moment here. This is for sure Lois kissing Clark, not a Superman scene. She's literally wearing the same outfit she was wearing at the beginning of the trailer when you see her walking into the Daily Planet. So her and Clark are already a couple. So she definitely already knows that Clark's Superman, or at the very least is playing along like she doesn't know, but she knows. She knows. So, but I'm gonna stop right here. So this scene, Superman is visibly upset. He's got the blackened suit. So post whatever causes him to have the blackened suit. He's in the Fortress of Solitude. This is one of the robot, kind of like the robot henchmen, not henchmen, but the robot helpers he has around the Fortress of Solitude, Keelix or whatever they. I don't know if it'll be Keelix, but that's the most common one that's used in the comics. Supposedly this will be voiced by, or not supposedly, the rumor is this will be voiced by Alan Tudyk, because we know he has a mystery role in this movie. It's got to be Alan Tudyk. It has to be Alan Tudyk. But I love that the robot, the design of the robot, again, like this is like Tomorrowland at Disney World kind of robot. I love that, like the future of 1960s. like I love that style, and I love that style to this robot. I like that he's got the blue cape like you would have in the comics, like an all-star Superman and stuff like that. So that's really rad. Obviously he's upset that this robot has been injured. Whether or not he's dying or can be repaired, I don't know. But Lex, there's a scene in the trailer that was released in front of Mufasa, like the theatrical trailer that's out there, where you see Lex and his henchmen there kind of bust in to the Fortress of Solitude. You can see the big silver S door from the other side open, so you know that he's breaking into the Fortress of Solitude. So this is undoubtedly caused by Lex breaking into the Fortress of Solitude for whatever reason he breaks into the Fortress of Solitude. And he breaks in there and they kind of bang up his robot a little bit, and Superman's upset. And I think he's upset because I bet you this robot is going to, rather than have your traditional, you get your traditional crystal looking Fortress of Solitude, which is rad. I love that. But rather than have your traditional Jor-El like talking to you through the crystals, I bet you this robot, Alan Tudyk, this robot is his connection to his homeworld, his connection to Krypton. I bet he learned all about Krypton from this robot. And I'm sure Jor-El, you're not going to not have data files of Jor-El and his mom talking to him and stuff like that. But I bet you this robot means a lot more than just like, make sure the fucking fortress is clean, bro. Like, trash goes out on Tuesdays. Like, I'm sure this robot is going to, and if it's Alan Tudyk, I bet you it's going to be sad. I bet you I'm going to get sad when this robot gets banged up. And I hope he comes back. I hope there's some tech here inside the fortress that can repair him, because keeping Alan Tudyk as a character like this going forward would be just, you got to do it. It's Alan Tudyk, man. But all right, let's keep it going. There's your shot of Metamorpho right there. So he looks great. He really does. You can see like the purple like crystals forming on his shoulder here. You can see his messed up like rock skin that he's got on the side here. He just looks great. And Anthony, or not, is it Anthony Carrigan? I always mess this guy's name up. Anthony Carrigan from Barry is such a good actor. He's so fun, and I got a feeling that this kid, his eyes are fucking scary though. Shit, they're so blue. But I got a feeling this character is gonna have a lot to do in this movie, as far as kind of helping Superman along his journey. I think this character is gonna be one who's gonna have a really sad story. Like I said, Metamorphose is not your traditional superhero. He has a kind of monster movie origin to him. So I think he's going to have a significant role in this movie, and I think it's going to be a sad one, and hopefully it ends well for him, and Superman and him can go forward and be heroes together. But who knows? Who knows? Also, it could be that Lex, I'll show you the images next, because you see Superman fighting Black Noir. But and the rumor there is that might be Ultraman, right? I got a feeling that if Lex is the one who has Metamorpho, I bet you he uses Metamorpho's ability, his ability to kind of create like different kind of chemicals and different things like that with his body. I bet you he uses some component of Metamorpho's DNA or like his ability to kind of retroactively make his Ultraman, right? That's who the Black Noir character is supposed to be. Is a version of Ultraman or an Ultraman Bizarro combo. It'd be kind of cool if they're using Metamorpho to kind of, let's Jurassic Park this. He would be like the Brazilian tree frog DNA that they put in the code to make the dinosaurs. I bet you they use his DNA to kind of bridge that gap there to make this clone of Superman that you're going to see him fighting in this trailer. So that's him pushing the kaiju. There we go. This is Ultraman here. Or the version of Ultraman we think it is. And this is probably a test to see how he did. He might be a robot. This guy might very well be some kind of a Metallo, but I don't know. I think it's more than likely that this guy is going to be some kind of clone hybrid of Clark and Soups, and whether or not that is going to be a straight David Corrin sweat behind that mask, like you're going to have the two like out of a face-off situation there, or if it's going to just be just his DNA used on some random body and Soups has to take him out. Or again, Soups doesn't want to kill anybody, even if it's a clone. So I bet you it's going to be something like he's able to, I don't know, use some tech that Mr. Terrific comes up with, or maybe Metamorpho himself is able to de-splice the genes and get this guy back to just being whoever it is that Lex was using as the body to try and replicate Superman. So Mr. Terrific, the classic spin flight. Love that shot. Yeah. That's a great trailer, man. It really is. Holy shit. Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of the trailer breakdown there. But yeah, if we're talking plot here, so like plot device wise, I think this movie opens up with a shot of them defending the city, or him defending the city, and I think the members of the superheroes that are sponsored by Lord Tech or by Maxwell Lord there. I think they're going to be helping him take out the kaiju. I think they'll probably have some blowback on the way he wants to deal with it. I'm sure that that Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner are going to be like, let's kill this fucking thing. And Soups is like, don't kill it. We don't even, why is it here? Safely get it away. Could be some butting of heads there. Like you're Guy Gardner being like, you're a danger to the people. This path that you're on, this reckless way that you want to save people and like save even the bad guys that you're fighting is going to lead to people getting killed, that sort of thing. I think that's probably where that first half goes. And then I think you're going to get into the Luthor of it all, where he is like, I want to take out Superman. I don't trust Superman. My way is the way to save humanity. And whether that's robots that he's creating, whether that's, again, we don't know who has Metamorpho in this or where he's gonna come from Stag Industries. They have that shot in the trailer where it shows Stag Industries. So there's no way that that's not where his creation came. But whether or not Stag has him like kind of captive, because it looks like he's held captive, or Luthor has captured him and is forcing him to, kind of go under these experiments to try and either. Maybe he even uses him to replicate the UV rays of a red sun, to try and that could be part of it too. And then a step further is he's using him to his experiments to create Ultraman. But like I said, I think it starts with the kaiju battle. I think the next part of it's going to be like, how do we make Lex's plot on how do I make Superman look like shit? And while that goes on, I bet you Superman flies over to save the little boy and those people from whatever is going on there, which might be when Lex is like, we're breaking into the Fortress of fucking Solitude right now. We know he's held up. He's going to be there for a bit. And he's going, they got to break in there, destroy the robot, get whatever they need. And maybe, you know what? Maybe Solaris is tech that Superman's already beaten and is held captive in the Fortress of Solitude. And that could be what becomes your third act right there, is Lex breaks in to try and get whatever he needs from Superman, find shit on Superman, or again, maybe Ultraman's not where he needs to be right now, DNA wise, and maybe he gets DNA from Superman from the Fortress of Solitude, and then goes back and it puts that into his Ultraman design, and perhaps he has Ultraman go out and do shit that makes it look like Superman is out there doing some criminal stuff, you know, or like killing people or not saving people, and that gets the public to turn on him. You know, Lex gets the public to turn on him. And then that's where your plot for the Daily Planet would come in, where the Daily Planet is then trying to, who knows Lois is definitely about Superman. She's going to know something's going on. She's going to be using her journalistic skills and, you know, probably everybody at the planet who's friendly with Superman or at least close with Lois, probably working to get the real story out there about what's happening and like who this could be. And she probably busts it open. And then Ultraman, who ultimately is going to go haywire, like there's no way he doesn't go haywire. He's probably going to start attacking the Daily Planet out of control from Lex. And Supes is going to have to take him out. The engineer and this Ultraman character at least fight Superman. So I would assume that they could be the ones who knock him into the snow at the beginning of that trailer. That part of the trailer could be towards the middle of the movie, you know, and then he whistles for Crypto to drag him back to the fortress, finds everybody finds it all destroyed, finds his robot destroyed, but he doesn't have the burn there. So I don't know. This is all speculation. For all I know, this could be nothing. I wonder how long this movie is though. Cause for me, I'd be fine with it being 3 hours long, but I would assume 2.5 hours, 2:45. But maybe it's shorter than that. You know, if this story is smaller than I'm thinking it is, then it very well could be a self-contained, very small Superman story that only has a couple beats of action that you go back and forth between, like an action set piece per act. But I feel like it's going to have more than that. And yeah, again, I don't know if that's Solaris. I don't know if it is, how he got there, whether it's taken offline from the Fortress of Solitude by Lex, and then Lex is like, I can just power it up and stop it myself. I already know how to stop it. And then realizes, oh, fuck, I can't stop it. And then Superman has to, proving that Lex is a fucking idiot. But I don't know. It could be any of those things. But I'm super excited for this movie. And the trailer is fantastic. And the score is fantastic. It seems like James Gunn has knocked this out of the park. I cannot wait for the next trailer, which hopefully will drop at the Super Bowl. We don't have to wait too long. But I don't know. I mean, I've watched this like 50 times. I have the song playing on my Spotify all like over and over again. It's to the point where my family thinks I'm crazy. Like all I'm doing is listening to this goddamn Superman theme. But anyways, guys, that's my trailer breakdown and my theories for what the plot could be for this movie. If you enjoy this video, do me a huge favor. Click that like button, subscribe to our channel. We're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by next summer's movie season, before this movie. We're at like 407 right now. You can really help us out. We do a live podcast every Thursday night. A couple of dudes who like movies and like shooting the shit about them. So if you're like-minded like us and you want to have a few laughs, tune in every Thursday when we go live with our podcast. And then keep an eye out for more videos like this. We don't do them all the time, but when we have content like this that we like, we do get them out there. So I'm Kevin Duffy. This is the Random Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you later. Bye.